Education. What is the plan to shore up facilities and resources for Maryland public schools?
We'll start by respecting our state constitution. For generations, we've had a constitutional obligation to make sure every child gets a good education, regardless of their zip code. And we've ignored it. My mama sued Western High School for girls when she was 12, 1952, so she could desegregate in 1955. First class of black girls go all the way through Western High School. And we've known since before then that until we fully fund our schools, you know, the theory of education works, right? So how do we start? We start by funding education first in the budget. By literally saying, look, we have a state constitutional requirement. Let's stop pretending like we have a choice here. The state's own consultants say that we underfund the schools at the state level by $2 billion a year. The state's budget's $44 billion a year. I've been a CEO since I was 26. I've never met a budget that could be optimized by 5%. We simply have to have the discipline to say we will fully fund our schools. By the way, a third of that are the revenues from the casino money. We'll keep that broken promise. What does that mean? It means that we will finally be able to provide universal full-day pre-K across our state. It means that we'll be able to push more vocational education into our high schools, so our kids come out ready for a career and for college. In Maryland, we have a shortage of first responders and teachers. Think about that for a second. Think about how many little kids you know. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a teacher. Well, by the third grade, we should be having a conversation with all of our public school kids that says, if you stay here and you go all the way through, we'll make sure that you're ready for a career. And then we should have apprenticeship programs starting in high school that lead straight into becoming a teacher, lead straight into becoming a first responder, lead straight into becoming a nurse, a computer programmer, construction management, building trades. We have to stop the shaming of young people who would prefer to provide for their family well with a tool in their hand rather than a computer on their desk. When I'm governor, we will make sure every child shows up to kindergarten ready to learn, because we'll have pre-K, and every child graduates ready for a career and for college.
Okay. How do you plan to reach across the aisle in the legislature?
As president of the NAACP, I had no choice but to work with Republicans all across the country, because the front line to the battle for civil rights, for economic justice for all of us, is in state legislatures. So when I rolled out our criminal justice agenda, I did it with every civil rights leader you might expect, but also the head of the largest corrections officers union in the country, Grover Norquist, and the spokesperson for Newt Gingrich. Our agenda, the letter of introduction, was written by Newt Gingrich. And why was that? Because we had to get votes from Republicans and Democrats in places like Georgia to get them shrinking their prison system, ending mass incarceration. And how did we know that we could? Because a long time ago, I took the advice of General Colin Powell, who said to me, son, it's easy to figure out what you disagree with people on. It's harder and more important in a democracy is to figure out the one thing you can agree on and go get that done. And we found with a number of Republican activists, they agreed. Our prison system was too big. The war on drugs policies, frankly, were not effective. We could be smarter, we could be safer, and frankly, we could save money if we did it. I put a proposal on the table to shrink our prison system by 30% and save $660 million in the process.
We're going to open the floor for questions. If you have questions, first of all, what we're going to do is ask those who are not a part of the media to have an opportunity to ask questions. If you have a question not a part of the media, we're going to ask you to come to the mic and be able to ask. You have it right here, come down there, in the middle, right there, and you'll be able to ask your question. Then, after that, we're going to have media questions. While they're doing that, while they line up, the candidate for lieutenant governor, Susie Turnbull.
Yes.
Talk about her and what the constraints and things.
Well, I think in the Baltimore region we get asked, is she kid to Judge Turnbull? The answer is no. Susie Turnbull is a wonderful activist and businesswoman. She was, she's not just part of this wave of women running for office for the first time across this country. She helped build that wave. Emerge Maryland was founded on her porch. Emerge trains women to run for office all across Maryland, all across the country. She helped found Emerge National after the campaign of Kamala Harris for district attorney to encourage more women, including more women of color, to run all across the country. She was vice chair of the DNC with Howard Dean, and she was chair of the Maryland Party in 2010. When we turned out more than 1 million voters and re-elected Martin O'Malley. And why is that so important? Because that's exactly how we'll win this year. The Republicans only win when we don't vote. Larry Hogan wasn't elected by some group of Democrats who switched aisles. Of course, in Maryland, there's always some Democrats who are prepared to vote for a Republican. Now, Larry Hogan got 885,000 votes. 12 years after Bob Ehrlich got 880,000 votes. They've never even got 900,000 votes for their candidate. So you're wondering how we win. We turn out every last voter and we win.